What's going on, y'all? So, got for you guys another review. Another Monday gone. Another review for Monday Night Raw. And, this, like we did, remember how I said the SmackDown one was just like, it kind of dipped a little bit in terms of quality and whatnot. This Monday Night Raw did not do that, actually. It was, for me, personally, it was I won't say very entertaining, but it was entertaining enough to keep me like, okay, this was good. It had, and the best thing of the whole night, I'm laughing because we had some good matches, but one promo killed most of the matches, which should say a lot. But they started off with a Seth Rollins promo. And I like the whole. If the promo is good, I don't mind it being the start. And this promo was good. Though it was like a little bit of, it was weird and left field, but it worked in a way that made me go, alright, it kind of worked. But yeah, Seth Rollins just came out to talk about him moving on from Matt Riddle and how he defeated Matt Riddle. And he's moving on, like he's using the same words like Kevin Owens said. It's been too long since he held championship gold, so he wants to move on to. He was, basically referring to Roman Reigns, and the reason why I say referring to Roman Reigns is what happened later on in the night with him and another champion, but I'll get to that later. But yeah. And then, as he was getting ready to continue on his rant about moving on, Riddle would come out, and I think it happened right after the crowd kept chanting one more rematch. Actually, not one more match, rematch. And he told the crowd to shut up and that he doesn't do rematches or whatnot, especially after beating Riddle. Riddle would come out and just basically say, bro, and then just charge the ring. They would get into a brawl. They would go into the crowds, and then this is the part where I say it kind of like, oh, that was weird and like out of nowhere. As he chased Seth, they came back, from the crowd back to the ring, or not in the ring, but at least to the ring side where Seth could run up the ramp array. Like he jumped over the barricade and ran up the ramp. And then as Riddle gave chase, Judgment Day music would hit. And Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest would come out and basically offer Riddle a hand to join the Judgment Day. Which Riddle would tell them, like, though he likes the offer, and they do go way back. He do admit that they do go way back. So like Damian Priest and them was saying, his focus right now is on Seth Rollins, so he's gonna have to decline. And they told him again, this time more sternly, that you either accept their offer and rise with the Judgment Day, or you fall because you're standing in their way. Riddle, this prompted the first match of the night, which is Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor, and this was a good opening bout. I won't lie, they worked with him and Finn worked well together. There's a lot of things this is like, I want to say a lot. In this episode of Monday Night Raw, I questioned two different things. This would be one of them, though. It's like, it's not on the Finn Balor part. I'm glad Finn Balor, Triple H is doing his thing to make Finn Balor great again and giving him wins or whatnot. And I just wonder, is this all a work for Matt Riddle? The reason why he's losing all these matches is for him they're going to make him rise as a big playable star, maybe in the Royal Rumble or some stuff like that. I just question where they're going with Matt Riddle's story, because he's been pretty much on a losing streak. I can't remember the last time Riddle won a match. I think I want to say ever since he lost to Roman, I don't think he had won a match. I could be wrong though. You know what? No, he won the match to get into the Money in the Bank. But I think after Money in the Bank, he hadn't won a match. But yeah, Finn Balor got the victory here. thanks to a distraction from Seth Rollins and Damian Priest. And then once victory was at hand, Seth Rollins got into the ring, gave him a little stump to, in the match, they called him a stupid SOB. We will get a Dominic Mysterio promo, basically explaining why he chose to join Judgment Day and what was festering inside of him, and the hatred he had for the fact that Rey Mysterio never asked him how he wanted his career to go, never asked him what this and that and that. That he said even for a little man, you cast a big shadow, and he wanted to get for underneath Rey Mysterio's shadow so he could stop being known as Rey Mysterio's son. Then we got the next match, which was Damage Control's Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus Aaliyah and what's her name, Raquel Rodriguez for the SmackDown, not the SmackDown, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. This is the second thing I had a question about, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. This was a good match. It was a good match. Obviously, you can't have a repeat of what happened because, it already having Dakota Kai and Io Sky lose in the first place kind of did damage their momentum, but then you was able to course correct, having them win that Clash of the Castle, which I figured was going to happen. I think I said it in my SmackDown video or in my Raw video before Clash of the Castle that I think Dakota Kai, Bayley, and Io Sky was going to win that Clash of the Castle, and I had no different opinion about tonight, and that opinion proved to be true. The match was good. Raquel and Aaliyah worked well together. Aaliyah did have more offensive maneuvers and moments in this match than she did the first time, and that she did in most of the tournament and in that last round of the tournament when they beat Dakota Kai and them. But they also acknowledged the fact that it was a controversy that Aaliyah pinned Dakota Kai when she wasn't the legal competitor. But yeah, which was weird because when it happened, they didn't acknowledge it the next Monday or the day it happened. Nobody acknowledged that it was she wasn't the legal competitor, and then they announced it like a week or two later. But yeah, the match was good. My question comes into the play with as the verdict of this match is Dakota Kai and Io Sky won, making them the new WWE Women's Tag Team champions. My thing was, what was the point? There's so many people that's asking this. Even Wrestle Talk asked this. What was the point of putting it on Raquel and Aaliyah if you wasn't going to let them have a rank? I think they was only champions for like 2 weeks and then they lost it. But yeah, what was the point? And then my real question was, why didn't you just do this from the jump? What was that all about? I really wish somebody with some backstage insight would actually have some insight on why it was basically chosen to have to put it on them now versus when you should have did it. But either way, it course correct, and now where we should have been with them being the SmackDown Women's Tag Team Champion, and with Bayley it looked like on the way to being the Raw Women's Champion, or at least fighting for it. But I'm gonna get to that in a moment. The next match we will get, which is Chad Gable versus Johnny Gargano, the much awaited main roster debut or return. They call it a return. I say debut for Johnny Gargano, and it was a good match. Chad Gable works good with anybody. He always is impressive. His moveset, his arsenal. He's honestly, in my opinion, he's an underrated wrestler. Like I always enjoy watching Chad Gable wrestle. He always do something impressive, especially when he working with people like Johnny Gargano and Montez Ford. He always able to shine. Um, this match was no different. Johnny Gargano, he was impressive, and he ended up taking the victory here over Chad Gable. Though in a hard fought match too, they got some time to go with this, and but he would get beat up at the end by Austin Theory, who would hit him with the briefcase and basically leave him laid out. To which it transitioned to a promo about Austin Theory about Austin Theory, a promo from Austin Theory. And this is where I meant that one of the promos of the night was the best promo. It was this promo right here. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Austin Theory basically came and cut Austin Theory promo that he's been cutting for the last weeks. And he basically talked about how he's the youngest this, he's going to be the future that, and basically tooting his own horn. Kevin Owens would have none of it. He came out and basically confronted Austin Theory and telling him that basically wrestlers like him are a dime a dozen, is a dime a dozen. He's telling him that there's so many wrestlers that came and since he's been to WWE that came here that look like Austin Theory that came and gone and have done nothing, and that people like him and Johnny Gargano who doesn't look and fit the mold of a Bobby Lashley or Austin Theory. He was talking about how they don't look like the typical WWE standard model, and that but yet he said people like him and Johnny Gargano are the heart and soul of WWE, and that WWE needs people like them because they're irreplaceable because they're only 1 out of a million. Where people like him are a dime a dozen, they could go get anybody that look like him, but they can't get anybody that's like Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens started shooting. He started spitting from the heart, and it made the promo so the crowd got into it to the point where they clapped. They severely got on Kevin Owens' side. They was into this promo. That got the crowd hyped. This was the best promo of the night, and like I said, the best thing of the night was just listen to this passionate promo spitting by Kevin Owens. Because Kevin Owens said, "I want you to prove me wrong." And he was telling her, how you can prove me wrong? Forget about your past, forget about the stuff that was handed to you, and fight. Fight to prove your legacy and prove who you are and who you are now versus the stuff that was given to you. But Austin Theory wasn't hearing it, and the brawl ensued, which accumulated to it at the end of the night before the main event started. They revealed that next week will be Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. Bianca Belaire cut a promo next about her open challenge, and that she was waiting for somebody to come out to the ring and challenge her, which would turn out to be SmackDown Sonya Deville, who came out and basically said that she's here to challenge her because she's not done with Bianca. She blames Bianca for her losing her position as a WWE official. They had a good match. It wasn't the best Bianca match, but it was definitely good. It was way better than the last time Bianca fought Sonya Deville. I'll say that much. Which is good for Sonya Deville. They're actually making her like a legit. They're trying to make her like a legit competitor without being like the usual heel that needs people to help her. They actually got her wanting to hold getting her to hold her own. But yeah, that will lead to, like I said, that will lead to the next match, which is Bianca Belaire versus Sonya Deville for the Raw Women's Championship, which was a good match in itself. They had really too much to complain about it, but Bianca Belaire got the victory. And this would lead to Bayley of Damage Control coming out confronting Bianca about the fact that she had to do this to make herself feel good because she is eating her up inside that she was paying for the first time in over a year by somebody who's been out for almost a year or so, who haven't really been in, who only had one match in her return and was able to pin Bianca, albeit with some help. Um, and that it really eats her up, that she really wants a match with Bayley to right that wrong. And Bayley ended up having a trap for her. She had Io Sky and Dakota Kai just homage to the Shield. They surrounded the ring and they basically tried to jump her, but Asuka and Alexa would come out and help her fend off the damage control for them to stand tall. The only thing I didn't like, what I will say, the only thing I didn't like was that they really don't have nothing for Asuka and Alexa to do, and that's severely bad. You got 2 top women's champions on your brand, and you don't have nothing for them to do other than being backup to Bianca Belair. What you need to do is put Bianca Belair in like a fatal 4-way. I would like to see Bianca Belair at Extreme Rules defend the title against Bayley, Asuka and Alexa Bliss. A fatal 4-way. That's all you need. Her defend the title against those three competitors, and that's how you keep, Alexa and Asuka fresh. We had a squash match from Omos. Nothing to really talk about. He just squashed some local competitors, and we got the main event, which saw Edge versus Dominic Mysterio. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. What I meant earlier about Seth Rollins referring to the other champion, referring to Roman Reigns, was because he got into a little argument with Bobby Lashley, who overheard him in his interview saying that he was like the man in the face of Raw, and Bobby Lashley telling him without championship gold. You say, you're wearing these fancy suits with these different colors, but no, it's one color you don't have, is championship gold. And he was saying, without this, you're not anything. And Seth Rollins issued like a challenge to Bobby Lashley, to which next week, announced alongside of Kevin Owens and Austin Theory, it would be Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. But yeah, Ed, I think earlier in the night too, Dominic Ray tried to talk to Dominic to no avail. He tried to talk to Edge to no avail. And Edge, even though Edge did have sympathy, he understand, Dominic is your son, you want to protect him, and I understand that as a father. I do understand that. Don't think I don't, I do. But this match gotta happen because he's an adult, and this match I gotta do this to knock some sense into him. And that's basically what this match. This match was Edge dominant. I mean, he dominated the longest this match went on. That pretty much almost towards the end of it. Edge dominated the match against Dom, basically beating him up. At one point, even Dom was like, "Please, Uncle Edge." Oh, Uncle, and Edge like, "I'm Uncle Edge." Oh, Uncle Edge now, Uncle Edge. And he just started beating into him. And but Rhea, a little help from Rhea attacking the bad leg that was already injured by Finn Balor and them from the week before. Dominic was able to take control. It was able to get into a little bit, but Edge took right back control. He almost was getting ready to spear him after having him tied up into the ropes, and only to be stopped by Rey Mysterio, who's pleading with him once again not to do this. That is done, but Edge is like pushing Rey out the way. Rey's trying to stop him and pull him away and tell him not to do this. He's trying to talk to him. But the Judgment Day will intervene, causing it to DQ. I think one of them attacked Edge, causing it to DQ, and thus Edge win the match by DQ. But Judgment Day destroyed Edge and Rey Mysterio. I think they beat Rey Mysterio, then threw him into the announcers, and then Finn Balor coup de grace legs Edge that was stuck in the chair. And they had like Finn Balor and the Judgment Day standing tall over Edge and them to end the show. Overall, it was a good show. There was things I would just really like the rest. I would like to know the answers to like why now then versus the time you should have put the belts on Dakota Kai and them. But other than that, it was a good show. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Big ups. I was going to get an 8 just thinking about it before I did the video, but as I talked about it, I'm giving it a 7. that's still good. That's still good. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. You hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews, and you enjoy the button. This button. You enjoy the video so much you want to support the channel. All you gotta do is hit those buttons, guys. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more amazing content. But don't go anywhere, cause I got some reactions to do. Including recently revealed fighter. So, well, fighting game. So, peace out.